What's up, Southern Fried Fam? This is Caleb Alexander McKenzie, coming to you from the comfort of my living room. Hey, listen, we had a little bit of room left over on our Libysn account to broadcast some stuff before the month ran out, so thought it'd be a cool idea if I let you guys walk through the preview catalog with me. These are books that are solicited for July 2018, and so that a little, a few months out, so you get a chance to figure out what you want. Let's start in the DC catalog. There's some good stuff coming out. On the cover of the catalog, you see Batman giving a big kiss to Selina because they are getting ready to get married. If you haven't been following Batman, of course, if you listen to our show, Sean goes over it quite a bit. He really is enjoying that book, so keep up with it through him and then read it. But in the month of July, we are going to get Catwoman #1 from Joelle Jones, which is, I can't wait. It's going to be great. Looks like it's going to be 32 pages for the price of $3.99. It's got a beautiful cover. Of course, Joelle Jones is an amazing artist, and she is just a really cool person, so check that out. You turn the page, we're getting Batman #1, written by Brian Bendis, 32 pages for $3.99. We just covered Action Comics on the show, so it's going to be a big deal. Right across the page, you're getting Action Comics number 1001 by the same guy, Brian Bendis, drawn by Patrick Gleason. There's a variant cover by Francis Manipool, which I will try to be picking up. Again, 32 pages, $3.99. Lots of stuff going on in this. There's some Doomsday Clock stuff happening. Keep going, and you get to some other characters. Batwoman #17 is coming out. Batgirl 25 is coming out. The Wildstorm is continuing on by Warren Ellis. Lots of good stuff. So, yeah, DC is definitely carrying on. They've been writing some great stuff, and we've all really been enjoying it. You open up to the Marvel section. Marvel has long had their own section of the book put out. So when you start in there, you're getting Captain America #1 is coming out by Ta-Nehisi Coates and Lionel Francis Yu. Looks like it's going to be probably 32 pages again for $3.99. Or $4.99, excuse me. They are tacking $1 on it, and it is 40 pages. You can see some of the cover art, which is just gorgeous. I believe Alex Ross painting. Again, Sean, huge fan of Alex Ross. You're going to get Amazing Spider-Man coming up #1 and 2. Now, this is the one that Nick Spencer and Ryan Ottley are kicking off on. So, for the first time in about 12 years, you're getting somebody besides Dan Slott writing it, which, is dope. And they've got, it looks like the Sinister Six on the cover. You see Kraven, Rhino, Mysterio, the Lizard, all of those fun guys. There's some interior art. Captain Marvel #1 by Margaret Stoll and Carlos Pacheco is going to be coming out. I'm not the world's biggest Captain Marvel fan, so we'll see what that's like. But one thing that we are really excited about, Donny Cates and Dylan Burnett are bringing us Cosmic Ghost Rider #1. Now, Jerry is a huge, huge fan of this character that just came out of the Thanos series, so you can expect to be hearing him talk about that in the very near future. You're going to get X-23 by Mariko Tamaki and Juan Cabal, which I'm curious to see how it comes out with. Mariko Tamaki did some work on She-Hulk. It was titled Hulk, but it was She-Hulk, which I love that character. It was not my favorite run on that ever, so I wonder how she'll do with another character, but X-23 is definitely somebody worth reading. Tom Taylor's been having a field day with her. Looks like we're getting Infinity Wars Prime, which, hey, there was a little movie coming out called Infinity War, so I'm sure it has something to do with writing that wave. This is going to be written by Jaron Duggan, drawn by Mike Deodato Jr., who's an amazing artist, and, it's just a big Thanos fest with all that fun stuff. Some Avengers stuff's going to be happening. Champions, which is written by Jim Zub now, is going to be a lot of fun. Thor #3, still written by Jason Aaron and Mike Del Mundo. It's going to be coming out. You're going to be getting Immortal Hulk, starting over by Al Ewing. All of those guys have been doing amazing work with different characters. I'm really excited about the direction that Marvel just is heading in general. There for a while things were a little bit rocky, but yeah, they seem to, especially under the new guidance of C.B. Cebulski, have turned things around. Book you need to be reading right now is Marvel 2-in-1. This solicits #8, which is actually, that's a little homage to the painting The American Gothic, which is kind of funny, with the Thing and Johnny Storm on the cover there. Century #2 is also solicited in this by Jeff Lemire and Kim Jacinto. Jeff Lemire, I read about everything he comes out. So does Craig. Craig is a huge fan of that guy, and he writes some of the most interesting stories out today. Continuing on, Multiple Man #2 of 5. The series coming out by Matthew Rosenberg and Andy McDonald. Jamie Madrox is a character coming out of the X Factor books. Peter David played with him for a long time. Really, really great character. He's been dead for a little bit. Died, I want to say, in part of the same event that Wolverine died in, or at least around the same time. So anyway, that's 32 pages for $3.99. Then you get into some weird stuff. There is a X classified book coming out that they don't give you any information about. It's just a giant black page with the red X-Men sign, and it says classified. It's written by Classified. It's drawn by Classified. There's a cover by Classified. Variant cover by Jake Scott Campbell, so at least they know he's doing something. Looks like another variant cover by Scotty Young. And it's classified, but what's not classified is that it is 32 pages for $3.99. I don't know what that is. I'm curious if they're not launching Uncanny X-Men out of that and maybe doing away with the X gold, blue, and red titles. I kind of doubt it, but, I wouldn't mind seeing the X-Men books consolidated into one or two books as opposed to what they are. But what I am excited about in the X-Men world is the Astonishing X-Men number 13, written by Matthew Rosenberg, drawn by Greg Land. I actually like Greg Land. A lot of people don't like him. I actually think he's a wonderful artist, drawing some beautiful pictures. He's like any other artist. He has his off days, but he definitely has earned his keep, although you'll hear a lot of people on the internet talking trash just because it's easy to do that, but we don't like doing that here, so we're not. The Reavers are back, and that's another thing I'm really excited about in this Astonishing X-Men number 13, but Charles Soule has been writing Astonishing X-Men will have been writing it up till this point, and we thought it was just going to be a limited series, but apparently it's going to be an ongoing, so that's cool. I like Matthew Rosenberg. He's a cool dude, and a really good writer. Go through the X-Verse stuff, books like Weapon X keep going, Old Man Logan, Domino, which Old Man Logan should actually be probably ending before too terribly long because, hey, they just brought regular Wolverine back in the comics. They're still trying to figure out what he's doing and where he's at, but he's definitely there. Deadpool number 2 by Scotty Young and Nick Klein is going to be coming out around the same time. Big fan of Scotty Young. You get over into Craig's world, as I like to call it. It's the Star Wars stuff. You get Kieran Gillen and Salvador LaRocca bringing us Star Wars number 50, which is kind of a landmark for those guys. It's been apparently amazing from what I understand. I don't read any of the Star Wars books myself. I just not stuff that's on not a point of interest for me, but that doesn't mean anything about the quality. It's just not something I read. I think Craig consumes about all of them like he does about anything with Star Wars because that's definitely his jam. Darth Vader number 18 by Charles Soule and Giuseppe Camuna Colli, I believe. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Come on the show and fight Sean about it. Is coming out. Looks like Grand Moff Tarkin and Darth Vader doing some weirdness. See, you've got Dr. Alpha. There's just a lot of good stuff in here. For the kids, you got some superhero adventure stuff coming out by Jim McCain and Dario Brizuela. On the cover, you've got Miss Marvel, Spider-Man, and Lockjaw, who is a lot of fun. And we're all about getting the kids. There's some great statues in the back of this book. Of course, all the Marvel stuff, and then some collected series and omnibuses, omnibuy, whatever you want to call it, that are going to be coming out. So yeah, definitely get to your local comic shop and check out the Previews magazine to see if there's anything else, because I'm not going to go through everything. But let's back away from the big two for a little bit and get into some other stuff. From Boom, you're getting Klaus, The New Adventures of Santa Claus, hardcover by Grant Morrison and Dan Mora. It's 128 full-color pages for $25. It's on page 224 of the magazine. And, Grant Morrison his brain is insane, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Jim Henson, for all of you Dark Crystal fans out there, and I know there are some, and I am one, Jim Henson's Beneath the Dark Crystal number 1 of 12 is coming out. It's written by Adam Smith, illustrated by Alexandria Huntington, 32 full-color pages for $3.99. This one is, like I said, 1 of 12, so it's going to be a mini-series ongoing comic playing in the Jim Henson Dark Crystal world. The art from this looks astounding. Another book I'm really excited about, and this book comes from IDW, not Boom, is Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's written by Bram Stoker and Roy Thomas, and it's drawn by Mike Mignola. Now, this book actually came out, I want to say, about 25 years ago. Literally 25 years ago. I've got 3 of the 4 books polybagged. This is the first time it's been collected. Mike Mignola, as some of you guys, as most of you know or should know, is the mastermind of the Mignola verse, which, Hellboy mainly, and a lot of the BPRD stuff. But this is beautiful. It's the story of Dracula as you know it, told and drawn wonderfully, bringing life to Bram Stoker's verse. $29.99 for 136 pages of gorgeously drawn stuff. To make Sean very happy, I wanted to mention also from Dark Horse the Usagi Jimbo Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Complete Collection trade paperback, which is going to be coming out. 192 pages for $17.99. That's not bad. Basically 200 pages for $18. That's not a bad price at all. It is all Stan Sakai drawing, so if you don't know his artwork, you should. This is a good chance to find it because he does a lot of really good stuff with the Ronin Rabbit, and though there's been multiple times where that world is crossed with TMNT stuff, and it's usually pretty good. No complaints here, at least. Something I'm really excited about: Disney and Pixar are coming out with The Incredibles #1. It's actually The Incredibles 2 #1. Crisis in the Midlife and Other Stories. Written by Christos Gage, Landry Walker, some other folks. 32 pages for $3.99. It's going to be a miniseries on sale July 11th. The Incredibles is a great movie. It's it arguably is the best Fantastic Four themed thing that's ever been made. And I can't wait for this film to come out just to watch it. We all have been enjoying Jeff Lemire's Black Hammer universe, and we've told you guys a little bit about some of the miniseries that are coming out. Well, they're adding another one. It's called The Quantum Age from the world of Black Hammer #1. Jeff Lemire and Wilfredo Torres. Wilfredo Torres is worth buying this alone, even if you're not a Jeff Lemire fan, which I don't know how that would be possible. But Wilfredo Torres' art is just phenomenal. It's set in the world of the Eisner Award-winning Black Hammer, but 1,000 years in the future. So we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves on what we're at now with things that are going on with Golden Gale and the Black Hammer and all of those guys being stuck. And, of course, the Black Hammer's daughter now is the Black Hammer in that too. Spoilers. Sorry. Not sorry. You should be reading it. Come on, guys. Anyway, like I said, 32 pages, $3.99, and it's an ongoing series. Not a comics thing, but actually something really cool that I think a lot of you might be interested in. On page 91 of the previews catalog, the main catalog, there is a T-shirt for sale, and it's the Walking Dead 15th anniversary T-shirt for $25. It's got a cool little logo on there. It says 15 years of The Walking Dead, and I think there's an anniversary pin that can go with it for $10. Anyway, I know some of you Deadheads out there are a big fan of not only the comics but also the show, and so celebrate it by giving them more of your money, because why not? On page 69, sorry, I'm not going to ever not laugh at that. Gideon Falls by Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino is still continuing, but I wanted to bring attention to a book that I'm not reading but really need to be, and it's stepping on my own toes a little bit because it's sad that I haven't. It's called The Gravediggers Union. It's by Wes Craig and Toby Cypress and Nico Guardia. It's 32 pages, $3.99 from Image Comics. I've heard nothing but good things about this. Rat Queen Special, not Neon Static, one shot, #1. It's like I said, it's just a one shot. So it's a fun way to come play in the Rat Queen Special. It looks like it's a mixture of badass bikers and assault dwarfs. Let's say that. It should be a lot of fun. Curtis Weeb is writing it, which is the same guy who's writing the main series, and Will Kirkby's doing the art and cover. It's a fun time. If you haven't been keeping up with the Rat Queen stuff, jump into that world. It's worth it. And then, last but not least, from Image, I want to bring your attention to the New World #1 of 5 by Alice Cott, drawn by Trad and Heather Moore. I'm picking this book up for Trad Moore alone. I love Trad Moore. I love the work he's done on books like Luther Strode. He's got a style that is a blend of American comics art and Japanese manga style. So basically, if Jerry and Sean and Craig and I had a love child, it would probably be Trad Moore, assuming that kid had any talent, which, let's face it, they probably wouldn't, but we're going to stick with it. Trad Moore is worth it again. Just to kind of pitch on that book, it's two lovers meet, one a straight-edge vegan hacker anarchist boy with a penchant for messing up with the state. The other is a chaotic hedonist cop with a reality TV show and a license to kill. It really shouldn't happen, and yet somehow it does, and soon the entire state of New California is after them. So you're getting a little bit of a dystopian story. You're getting a opposites attract kind of thing. It's going to be a fun time, and so you should look into it. back in the back of the book is where a lot of the it's where a lot of the indie comics or less well known comics per se are that's where they live. Back of the book is kind of a really fun place to explore. The first book on there is from Aardvark Vanaheim. It's Teenage the Mutant Cerebi by Dave Sim and Benjamin Hobbs. Cerebus is a fun book, guys. It really is. It's something that's worth reading. Across the page is Athena Voltaire #5 by Steve Bryant. That's some good times. Those are actually novels as well that you can look into. Hillbilly, which Craig talks about quite a bit, #12 by Eric Powell, is coming out from Albatross. It's magic, monsters, and rednecks. What can be better? There is a gorgeous Batman animated series Harley Quinn statue that's going to be coming out. If for those of you who collect statues, some of you do, it's a 12-inch resin statue of the good Harley, in my opinion. It's old school Batman the animated series Harley. I just wish she had some hyenas, but she doesn't. But there's nothing you can do about that. One publisher that we all really like is Aftershock Comics, and they don't get nearly enough love, even though we try to get it to them. But they've got a section in the back of the book featuring some of the stuff that they're coming out with. That's definitely worth reading. There's a number of them. I'm trying to figure out which ones I want to mention. The Brothers Dracul from Cullen Bunn, #4 is coming out. Betrothed by Sean Lewis and Steve Huey is coming out. Baby Teeth from Donnie Cates and Jerry Brown. Let's see here. Keeping on going. If you're into the pulp like I am, there's always some Zorro stuff coming out. So on page 262, check out Zorro, who is returning with the new terrifying supernatural tales in Sword of Hell #1. Written by David Avalone and Roy Allen Martinez. It's full color, 32 pages for $3.99. Zorro's a fun time. He's not one of the pulp characters I had a lot of experience with. I tend to hang out with Conan and Red Sonja and Tarzan, but Zorro's always had a little place in my heart. In the back, you get some Archie Comics goodness. Which Archie, let's talk about them for a second. They've come a long way into attracting people who wouldn't regularly read it. With some of their horror-verse stuff and the fact that Mark Waid is writing the main title. Archie Meets Batman 66 #1 is coming out. That's going to be fun for those of you who are lovers of the old 66 Batman show, or just the nostalgia factor of it. Vampironica keeps going by Greg and Meg Smallwood, who apparently Meg lives in Arkansas now, which is kind of neat. Hopefully get to run into her a few times at cons and whatnot. And, maybe Greg will come down to visit and we'll get to meet him too. Let's see. You get into Boundless Comics, which is essentially just porn. Then I'm not a big fan of, so I'm not going to talk. But if you do like the more risque elements of comics, maybe Boundless is for you. And no judgment there. It's just not my thing. Flipping. Anyway, the back of the book, as you keep going on, you get into a lot of other stuff that are just kind of comics tangents related. You get into some monster stuff, some magazines. Let's see, Fantagraphics has got some cool stuff going on, which Fantagraphics is a company that I really, really enjoy. You get some of the old creepy and spooky theme stuff. But there is something that I wanted to mention because it's from something that Jerry really loves. It's the Adventure Zone, Here There Be Gerblins. By Clint McElroy, Griffin McElroy, Justin McElroy, and Travis McElroy, and Carrie Page, I think. This comes out of a podcast that's a real play podcast, kind of a D&D thing called The Adventure Zone that Jerry listens to. I've listened to the first arc of it. It was really fun. It's a graphic novel, kind of telling the exploits of their characters that they invented and played with on the show. It was hilarious. This should be a good time. Well, guys, it looks like it's about time for me to get out of here. I've taken up enough of your time, but I, also just wanted to throw this out there. Again, thanks for always listening to us. We really appreciate it. You guys mean the world to us when you take your time out of your busy days to listen to us. Come hang out with us on our Facebook page, Southern Fried Geekery Podcast. Come check us out on Instagram and Twitter at SFG Podcast. If you got any questions or concerns, email us at southernfriedgeekery@gmail.com. And other than that, get to your local comic shop or order the Previews magazine because there's always some really fun stuff in it. Especially the Image book has a lot of good interviews with creators and stuff. But yeah, go forth and love some comics. Y'all take it easy.